So we're going to analyze 3 Forex pairs and 2 crypto pairs. We'll look at Euro USD, GBP USD, and GBPJPY. Then we'll now go to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Maybe we'll add BNB, depending on the time we have. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. If you haven't joined our challenge, then we're in the final week. So you can still join. Okay, so I took some trade last week on Euro USD. You can see this one went well. This was on a Tuesday, and this one we didn't hit. We didn't hit entry. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this, so we can get to it for today. Okay. So let's go to the weekly time frame and analyze down. I'm just gonna close this because we don't need it. So we had rate cuts last week, and you can see that rate cut is basically cutting the interest rate on the dollar, and that means, oh, I see labor. It's in Lagos, Nigeria. So rate cut basically means that the interest rate on the dollar is being cut. So it's basically to stimulate the economy, but that's the effect it has on the US on the dollars is that it makes it weaker, to other currencies. So you can see the euro is reacting to that. I was actually expecting it to be like, the 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 I was expecting to drop first, euro US to drop first, like drop first before we see it move up. But it just started moving up, which is fine. So let's just basically dip into what we have here. I'm just going to clean this up. Okay, so initially I was expecting a move from here to this, but we can see we didn't get into that. We're just going higher. So therefore, we're going to analyze and see what we have here. So we are going to attack this high. So I believe we're heading for this particular high. Or maybe I should start with this particular high here, this one. So this is a weekly high. I'm looking to see it taking out. And I'm going to mark this as a weekly low. I can remove this. So basically, the price action for the week, I expect this to occur within this range. Now let's go to the 4 daily time frame now. On the daily, what can we see? We saw a low here. Then we saw a retracement and a push to this point. So this is clearly a break of structure here. BOS, and on this particular time frame, we see that the movement is efficient. This is the supply zone that led to this breakout structure we have here. So this becomes my region of my zone of interest. So with that in mind, and if we go above, you will also see that here, okay, this one is, let me see, I want to see if this is sticking out. So I'm going to zoom in. Okay, this is like almost there. So this is sticking out, but I can still leave it there. But okay, let me just take it out. What is important is that we have this zone. Okay, so daily time frame, what I can see here is this demand zone, and from there we can go to the 4-hour time frame to begin to flesh this out. So on the 4 hours, I can still go and mark this zone above here. So it becomes clear that this is a zone of interest. So we can see the market can reverse from here. And if we might possibly say this, the movement downwards to this particular zone. Okay. Now I'm going to mark out another demand zone, which is the one below here. If the market comes down, if the market doesn't respect this particular zone, so possibilities are that the market bounces from here. Another possibility is that we'll have it come down to this zone and bounces from here. But the one I see happening more, the one I see that is likely to happen is this one, this one, because this is a zone here that led to this structure. This one took a long time, but this one in few hours, you can see it did break this structure. Okay, so let me remove this one, and we're going to refine this zone to this point. Okay, so this looks good. So this might just be our trade for the week. A retracement to this point, and we see a retracement to this point, and a impulsive move to this particular zone. So now let's go to the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is where we start looking for entries. For swing trades, we start looking for entries there. For day trades, we can start going lower to the 15 minutes time frame. Okay. Okay. So now what I could draw here is this. This might just be the region where we'll see a retracement from. Okay, so I'm going to call this the 1 hour demand zone. While here, I'm going to maintain it as the 4 hour demand zone. So this becomes my zone of interest, but I will still keep an eye on this one. this particular one. Now, if you look at here, we still have on the 1 hour, this is another demand zone that will come in, that that is of interest. So what can we have here? We can have, like I said, this market needs to hit this point, this zone that we marked that earlier. We don't need to refine it until we actually get there. Let me see. Do we need to refine it? Okay. Let me bring it down to the closest one. This one here. So this is the closest zone here. There's another one above, but we don't need to get to that point because we're still far from that point. So this becomes our target, this zone. So possible movement is this. And we'll go again. We can have a movement downwards to this zone, then we'll move higher. Or let me remove this now. We can break below it, do this, and move lower to this point and move higher. Or we can also break this, then move higher from this particular zone. Let me show you what I mean. We can also do this. We can go below this, then go below this, okay, then move higher from here. So how do you know if this is going to be respected or not? What we basically look for inside this zone is what I call the confirmation entry. So we want to see a confirmation entry in this zone to take this particular trade. So you already want to see a confirmation entry on the lower time frame, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, in this zone, to take a trade higher. If not, we'll just maintain. We'll just wouldn't take this trade. Now, what can we trade? We can look for entries to take this trade to this zone on the lower time frame now, on the 15 minutes. So first, let's go to the 30 minutes first and see if there are possibilities to take it lower. Okay. If you look at the 15 minutes here, I see that here, this 30 minutes by the way, I see that here we have a break of structure here. Okay. Then above that, I don't see any demand zone. The only demand zone I see is this one, which has been taken already by this. So let's go to the 15 minutes time frame. On the 15 minutes, if I mark this out, it's a demand zone, the supply zone rather, you see that it has been taken by this guy. Okay. Then above it, or just here, I have equal, okay, they're not perfectly equal. But if you look at this other supply zone here, this one, let's investigate this. It has also been taken by this guy. So what I will do is to move lower to, because my orientation now is to have this go down. My orientation, like my bias rather, is that we should have this market go down to this point. That's my bias. But we'll have to look for where to take it from. Let's go down to the 10 minutes. So on the 10 minutes, you will see that we can refine this to this point. We can also refine this to this point. Okay, so this is going to be my trade for the 10 minutes because this is here. You see this box that we have here, this orange box is the Asian session, right? The Asian session is going to end in the next 2 hours because the next 1 hour, 4 minutes is going to end. So I like to see the Asian high taken out. Then I see a drop down. So how can you take this trade? One is simply this, is to place a short position, take a short position from here. I like to cover all the way to this high, okay, because the market can shoot up to that high, and the target is going to be this low. It's a 3.89 risk to reward ratio. So the stop loss is at 1.17593. Entry is at 1.17479. So this is going to be my trade. Another thing I can do is to wait for, a confirmation entry still. So this is 10 minutes. I could wait to see the market hit here. Maybe it does this, does this, then breaks below. Then if you watch here, you can see that this is a break of structure. This is a break of structure here. And because we have this break of structure here, we have this break of structure to the upside first. Let me mark it out. We have this BOS to the upside. This one. So a break upward, break downward. This then becomes my entry. So two ways to enter this trade is one to just wait for, place a limit order here to go low. Two is to wait to see this move on, say, even the 5 minutes time frame. Then, so that is a safer way to enter, but the downside is that you can miss a trade. So wait for confirmation to enter or just place a limit order here. If you wait for confirmation and it does give a confirmation, you get a better risk to reward ratio. You can be getting like a 6 or even a 7 risk to reward ratio. If you enter here, you're getting a smaller risk to reward ratio, 3.89. But the thing is that this might play out, but the confirmation might not play out. So looking at this, this is going to be the first target. Second target is this. Of course, third target is this particular one. So this one I'm looking at for EURUSD. So I see a possible reversal, like from here. If we get a confirmation entry here, we can go higher. If not, we are breaking lower. We can get confirmation here and go higher. Let's look at GBPUSD. I'm going to clean out some of the things I drew last week. Okay, so we're going to the weekly now. Weekly time frame. So I also expected some same thing kind of to happen. I was expecting the price to get to this point, but the rate cut news made that not happen. We just started moving higher. This is a region I was looking forward to retracement actually, but so we're going to investigate that to see if there's a possibility we have that done. So with regards to price action, I think with regards to the range for the week, I think I'm going to take this upper boundary, but it's really far off, so I don't see it happening anytime soon. I'm going to take this upper boundary, and this lower boundary. So this is where we want to see trade. So let's go to the daily now. Daily. I think I can remove this on the daily time frame. I'm still gonna just leave this because I believe that we might see a reaction from here one day because of this big fair value gap we have here. So what do we have? We have on the daily, we have this zone here. It's a supply zone for a possible reversal. And we're currently in one. This is another zone here. It's another demand, another supply zone where we can see a reversal from. And if you check out this, it's a demand zone for a possible, it's a zone of interest. And below here as well. Okay, so now we'll go to the 4 hours. 4 hours, can we make sense of it? Looking at this from the 4 hours, so this demand zone we had here on the 4 hours, you now see that it is an efficient zone. There is no other block here. And since we are here in this zone, it just says that we're going to go higher. Basically, it's tapped into that efficient zone. Then my orientation is not down. My orientation is to keep going higher. And if you look at this here, I can consider this a swing high. This swing high mm, I want to call this a breaker structure, but it's not a real breaker structure. Maybe on the micro side. So this push upwards is what it basically swept it, not really broke anything. Anyways, so I'm looking forward to a reversal from here. A reversal from this point, okay, to go higher. That is what I want to see. I am not quite interested in this one here. Yes, we might see a possible reversal from here as well. But I'm more interested in this very one. Now, let's now go to the 1 hour. There is another, okay, there's no other zone here. So possible movement I see is to see this go down this way. So even on the 4 hours, we can see that we have a supply zone above here. So we have a supply zone above here. Then, so on the 4 hours, I can even start looking for short position from here this way. And this is going to be my first target, which is pretty 5.8. Let's go to the 1 hour and confirm that. So on the 1 hour, I can even optimize this. So this is it now. This is the optimized version of this. Let's see. I can also optimize this very one. I can optimize this to this zone. Okay. So this simply says that this is where I want to enter from. But if we miss, it means that this is the zone you want to take a reversal from. Is there any other thing that is going to support this? So this market can reverse from here to go lower. It can also reverse from here. These are just the two possible entry, but I see it going down. So what do I expect? A movement up from here to this point and we'll reverse. If we miss this, then this will now be the place we're looking forward to a reversal. What I'm trying to say is that we can have another possible entry from here if this other one is missed. Yeah. This for GU. And what else? So what is a possible trade we can take? This is a possible swing trade we can take. But let's go down to 30 minutes first to see, is there any other thing? In terms of price action, there's really nothing much to do here. There's a possibility we don't get entry. This can actually start going down from here. Looking at this, we have a breaker structure here. I'm just going to close this out. We have a breaker structure at this particular point, and we also have a demand zone here. Just gonna- So this is also another opportunity. This is also another possibility. Having this go down from here. But I'm just going to stick with this particular one. This one. There's a possibility here. So for think if see a confirmation entry from this point as well, I think I'll just consider this. So this one is going to be based on confirmation entry. Why this one is more of a risk entry trade for me. Okay, another currency, GBP. I think I did this analysis on Thursday and it played out pretty well. This is the confirmation entry I talk about all the time. Let me show you what I mean. You see a movement upward. This broke this first break. Then we're looking for this low to be taken out. And you see this low taken out at this particular point. So this is the entry. When the market came up here, you can see it's just flew down. If you want this trade, this is another entry, possible entry here. Okay. But this happened very early this morning. So this is standard confirmation entry. And let's see if we can see more trades. But first, I need to clear all this. I need to clear all this. So we have been in the upward trajectory for GJ for some time now. We've just been going up, and we took this. So this is the next point I see as point of reversal. But if you look at this, we did break structure here. Let's see, from this point to this point. It's a tiny break, but it's a break of structure that is on the weekly time frame. But I know I still will still have this particular zone. So we are possibly going to look for a reversal somewhere, then go higher to take out this particular high. So on from the weekly perspective, this is what you should build. That's what I see. And if you look here from the weekly perspective, this is also the this here is the demand zone. So demand zone, we can possibly see this from this zone, we take out this high. So if from the weekly, this is showing us, okay, this is what we can do. So that said, let's go down to the daily to see how it works. So on the daily, we can refine this to this point. And this looks good because we have an equal low here, which is basically liquidity. So from here, we can start looking forward to a short position to bring this lower. So this takes us to the 4-hour time frame. But more, if you look at this again, we are actually, look at here, this is the low you want to take out. You want to take out this low before we confirm that downward entry. So I want to see this low taken out before we confirm that we're going lower. If it's not taken out, we might not be going lower. And I'm just going to mark out the whole of this is quite wide. It is a supply zone. It's a possible area we'll see a reversal from. Possible area for reversal is from here. Okay. Now 1 hour to see it makes sense. On the 1 hour, we confirm that this is our breakout structure, this one. Okay. This one is our breakout structure. And this another one here. This is a small low that we broke. So I can call this the breakout structure and simply just forget about this one here. Then where is the zone that led to that? This is the zone. This particular demand supply zone is what led to that breakout structure. So from a swing trading perspective, I can just go ahead and place a short position from the here, my stop loss at this high, and my take profit, I can just simply put it here. So I'm expecting this to happen, this, and this. So that's from the swing trade perspective. But we can look for opportunities to actually trade this higher to this point. Like we can look for opportunities to see how I can trade to this point before we get here to trade lower. But it's a trade I will place. Like it's a trade I would take. Because currently we're broken through this. We're basically in an efficient zone here. So let's go to the 13 minutes and see if there are things we can refine. What can we refine on the 30 minutes? So nothing, basically nothing. This remains my trade. On the 5 minutes, any other thing? On the 15 minutes, I'm still going to keep this way. So this is going to be my trade. This will be my setup for GBPUSD. If we go lower here, there might be opportunities like on the lower time frame, like 5 minutes, for example. 5 minutes, we can start looking to trade this higher because this, if we see this taking out, you can start looking for opportunities to say, okay, I'm taking long positions from here, from here, I can now start looking for short positions to go lower. So this is on the, this is a possible trade we can experience on GBP. So I've go ahead to talk about Euro, GBP, USD, and GBPJPY. Now let's go to Bitcoin. I know some of you are waiting for Bitcoin. So we're going to go to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, from the from the macroeconomic standpoint, it should be going up. Why? Because we had another interest rate cut. We might get another one next year, we might not. But from the fact that we've had like 2 interest rate cuts, it should be going up. But right now, we did kind of go up on that particular day, and from there, it's been dropping. So this could mean that Bitcoin wants to retrace to a zone where it's comfortable to go up, or you just want to take some people out first. So what I'm going to do here is just simply clean this, make this chart clean. So we'll start again. And we'll start from the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame. I'm just gonna, yes, okay, yes. BTC USDT is the same as BTC USD. Okay. So let's see. From the weekly time frame, this region and this region is where, that is the 80, 78, and the 71 is a region I'm expecting to see the bulls really coming from. But if you look at here, you can see that Bitcoin is stalling, and this is also a demand zone from the weekly time frame. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily. From the daily, okay. Okay, from the daily, I think I drew this earlier. I'm looking for a confirmation from here. So basically, just looking at this here, I feel that Bitcoin will need to come down more. or might see a movement upward first to this zone, then we'll come down to this zone before actually going up. Then this is what could possibly happen. Let's go to the 4 hours to start making sense of that. On the 4 hours, if you look at here, this is a high. This high led to this low. So I can mark this out from this top all the way to this point. So this is my breakout structure. So once you see a breakout structure, the possibility is that we'll move in that direction. Now, below that breakout structure, we have this. We have this one is the first zone, demand zone here. And we have another demand zone below it, which is this one. Okay, so this particular one is the one that has been taken. I would have loved to see this one taken, but this one seems to be the one that led to this particular break. The push was massive. We saw this break from there. So what I'm looking forward to now is to see if there's a way to enter trade here to take this to this point. So for that, we'll go to the 1 hour now to start looking for possible entries. Okay, can we refine this? Maybe a tiny little bit. For this one, yeah, we can also refine. So these are possible entries. Possible entries, possible zone. Where do we take it from? Looking at this one too, it's another possible zone. Another zone here. So to take any of this trade, I want to see this high taken out. This high needs to go. This high needs to go. Because of we have a lot of zones to trade from. Here, here, here to take this higher. It means I need to see this high go before I take a trade on Bitcoin. So I'm going to put an alert there. Before we take a trade on Bitcoin, we might still see there's a number of possibilities here. So one is this, which I don't see it happening. I'm not going to take this particular. I won't take this entry. I will not take this entry. Yeah, we'll have a breakout structure internally here, but the thing is, we have a zone that has not been taken here. We have another zone here. So another possibility is that we go lower actually to this zone. Then here, I want to see confirmation to enter. If not, it will not be here to enter from. These are the two places I'm interested in. So I'm going to draw them out. So one is that we'll see a confirmation from this zone. Okay, to take this trade, confirmation here. I see this as being the most likely thing to occur. Another one is this one. This one will occur. To consider this zone, this particular zone, to consider it, I want to first see this high here taken out. That is when I can consider here to go higher from here. If this is not taken out, then I'm just looking at this and I'm looking at this. All right, let's go to the 30 minutes. Possible entry, 30 minutes here, 15 minutes. So I'm sticking to my high time frame analysis. There could be little plays here, but I think they'll all be scalping activity. There could be little way you can just, okay, I want to take a trade here and go to this point, but they'll all be scalping activities on the very low time frame. Let's say the 5 minutes time frame. We go down to the 5 minutes. We can start looking for, okay, all right, this looks good. Let me take a trade to bring this maybe possible lower to this particular point. But I don't think I want to trade that. Or if we see this broken, now I'll quickly take a short position here to take this to this particular point. These are just very low time trades we could take if you don't want to wait for um this to play out on the higher time frame, because on the higher time frame, I might not even see a trade to take today for Bitcoin unless you really go lower. I will just go ahead and go to Ethereum and do the same analysis for Ethereum. So I think I'm going to go ahead and erase some of this stuff. Then we'll start from the weekly again. Weekly time frame. Breaker structure is in line. So weekly time frame is still playing out the way it's expected. Possible reversal still remains from here. Ethereum can go down to as low as 180 something. I'm just going to remove this too. Okay, so Ethereum, from the weekly time frame perspective, you can still see it go down to this point. So you can still see it do this and go down. From the weekly time frame perspective, Ethereum can come down to this. Then we can see it now. Maybe that's when we experience the real bull when it has come down to this point. Daily, what do we have on the daily? We can start refining on the daily. One refinement is to this zone. Another refinement is to this particular zone. Okay, so let's go to the 4 hours now. On the 4 hours, we see, I don't need this anymore. We've had a break. We're coming from, let me mark this out. We're coming from this zone. Okay, so which is fine. We're coming from a demand zone. Then we can start drawing out things. We can draw this one out as somewhere we can possibly take off from. If you also look at this here, it's a breaker structure. This zone, this zone here broke this structure, but you can see this zone is not respected. We are in this particular zone. This candle seems to be a quite powerful candle. This is actually a very big demand. So that candle is quite a big demand. So we could see a reversal from this particular point to go higher, or we could come lower to take this, we could come lower to take this. Let's go to the 1 hour to make sense of it. Okay, on the 1 hour, this zone still stands this particular week. Nothing is happening here. So on Ethereum, now let's look at this. So we have this high here. So this looks clearer on Ethereum than we saw on Bitcoin. And we have this low here. Okay. And we had a breakdown here. And we had a break above low high. Okay. Okay. We had this break here, even though this is still, it's not a proper break. If it was a proper break, then we're expecting something like this to take it higher. But we're going to confirm this on the lower time frame as well. Let's go to the 30 minutes now. And I think I want to remove the EMA. Okay, so we can now refine this to this point. So this becomes a possible place for a reversal. All right. Possible place for a reversal as well as this. But from the lower time frame perspective, we might see a trade coming from here to make this happen. So this might just be the trade we are looking for from here. Let's go to 15 minutes. On the 15 minutes, I still don't quite get, I'm looking for a break. Okay. This is a sweep. I don't work with sweeps. This is my possible trade here, a long position from here. From here, but I would rather wait to have a proper break. Again, this is not a break, it's a sweep. If you have another leg, another movement upward that gave us a break, then this will not be a trade that I'm willing to take on Ethereum. Then start looking for a reversal from this zone. Okay, somebody said that I have not been added to the Forex group for 2 weeks now. So I'm going to just send me a message on Telegram. Forex group. Forex group is not Forex group. You're meant to. So I'm speaking to Azubike now. Just send me a message on Telegram. My handle is at JudeWorld. At JudeWorld on Telegram, and I will attend to you personally. If you can do that this morning, great. That said, I don't think I can take questions. I need to attend to something quickly. But if you have questions, I'll be holding a live on Thursday by 4. Just be here. We'll talk about more things. Maybe I'll take time to talk about more strategies or to explain the strategies better. So you can ask your questions then. Other than that, I'm going to see you guys. See you guys on Thursday here on YouTube by 4 p.m. West African time. Bye, everyone.